I've often said here on the show how things can change really in the flick of a finger, can't they? Whatever you're doing, whatever happens in the world, everything stops when you see certain things or hear certain things. We've mentioned it recently. And we're all really, how can I put this? We're all at the mercy of history, aren't we? Things that change the world. You see, over here recently we had the England football game, and sadly, although the boys played incredibly well, they were not able to bring football home, as it were. But of course, the appetite a few days before, flags everywhere, whatever, and then things dramatically change. It's a little bit like, of course, the ongoing story of the attempted assassination of the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. The day after, of course, there he was spotted in his golf cart, going about daily business. Very Thatcher-esque, wasn't it? A little bit after the Brighton bomb. Still leading the conference, still showing stoicism and all of that sort of stuff. But then, of course, something that does actually kind of, well, pull at the heartstrings. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time. We'll have a lovely quick wave. You all right? Beautiful lush green here again, you see. Isn't it lovely? Absolutely, I know. You kind of think it's the only thing with any life in it, not me. I don't know about you, got any life in you? Well, not until, of course, you've had your first cup of tea or coffee, or in fact, changed your batteries. It's terrible, isn't it? I was talking to someone the other day and basically they said, oh, I haven't switched my hearing aid on. And I thought, that'll be nice. You could actually get rid of people if you're disinterested and just nod, can't you? What do you mean you're doing it with me? No, you know what I mean? There are things like that. There aren't the benefits, as it were, that you don't necessarily notice. One thing that we did notice, of course, about the former President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, was his complete and utter respect for our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. And as I told you before, this really didn't go unnoticed by her. She had very much a soft spot for Donald, She knew the fact that he was a little bit nervous in her presence and stuff like that. And that's how it works. She's the most famous woman in the world. It's her job, if you like, to make you feel very comfortable, very relaxed. And she did it with great aplomb. But what's interesting to note, and what many people won't know, is this, that basically the former president literally received a letter from His Majesty the King, King Charles III, following, of course, the terrible assassination attempt on his life in Pennsylvania. And what I liked about this was, and a lot of people don't understand this, other world leaders call in, they call at the office of Donald Trump, send an email. His Majesty the King very nicely put pen to paper, sat down and thought about what he was going to write, because obviously he knows that his words will be looked at in history. And it's not really about just that, but apparently when Mr. Trump received that letter, which was ferried across at high speed, let me tell you, over to, of course, his US home, well, apparently he was very moved. But there's another reason behind that. You see, when, of course, Her Majesty the Queen sadly passed away, His Majesty the King, as he is now, but Prince Charles as he was then, received an absolutely eloquent letter about the meeting and his mother between the former president and, of course, Her Majesty the Queen, which moved King Charles. And it's all about personalities, isn't it? Connectability. Whatever your politics, it's all about what you really think behind the scenes and how you treat your fellow human beings. And I just thought it was nice to be able to share this, because a lot of people are saying, why does King Charles still write letters? He wants to get with the digital age. He is with the digital age. Of course, he does things via digital platforms, but he doesn't have a mobile. The courtiers have that. He doesn't need to. He's the king. Somebody else can dial the figures, can't they? But on a more positive note, can you imagine, and this is what I've been told from an excellent source, that Donald Trump was beyond moved by this particular kind gesture. Now, even a letter from His Majesty the King truly moved Donald J. Trump. And for that, it is pretty amazing, you have to agree. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.